Hi, I'm Jake Folger from Fenton Homeless, and this is my own story about my being homeless with my dog in 2014. So I'm bipolar, and I had gone off my medication. I'm not really sure why, partly money, also my legs were swelling up and that sort of thing. So I thought it would be best if I went off my medication, and so I did, and I ended up having a manic episode where I just basically flipped out, and I had a really close church life, and I started writing really mean, awful emails to everyone in my church, and they asked me to take a break. So I ended up, I was being supported by the church, and they helped pay my rent and stuff, so I couldn't stay where I was living. So a friend of mine invited me to stay with him in North Carolina, where he lived, and so I moved out there, but I was still kind of freaking out from the manic episode, and so I was equally as mean and nasty to my friend Bob in North Carolina, and he just couldn't take it, so he asked me to leave. So then I was homeless, and I ended up living in the woods for a while. This is a picture of the spot I lived in with my dog. Boy, this was really hard. The rainstorms in North Carolina are so hard, and they last so long, and we would just get really soaking wet, and all our stuff would get soaking wet, and I mean, it was in the middle of summer, and we were really freezing, literally freezing. That's how awful it was, and just because it was so wet and cold. After a while, I decided that I would go back to the Washington, D.C. area where I'm from, and so I got my car, packed everything up, and just drove to Washington, D.C., and there I ended up living in my car for a long time. This is a picture of my car with my dog hanging out. And yeah, so we did that for a while, and then I'm an artist, and I was trying to do my art and sell it on Etsy and eBay to kind of support myself. One day I was sitting out in Tacoma, Maryland, and near where my church was, and I ran into some old friends of mine, and we were talking on the street, and Julius is an artist. That's how I was talking to him and his wife Melissa, and they were talking excitedly about their art and stuff. I don't think they even realized I was homeless. So finally I blurted out that I was homeless, and Julius reached in his pocket and pulled out $100 bill and just gave it to me. And then they ended up really supporting me, and they helped me get an art studio, so I could really concentrate on my art. And I started doing that, but still was homeless, living in my car. And so After a while, somebody from the art studio, a woman there, she knew just from word of mouth that I was homeless, and she invited me to stay at her place for a while, but I wasn't paying rent, and yeah, we just kind of got at odds with each other, so I had to move out again. It was coming around November and the Thanksgiving holiday, and I ended up spending Thanksgiving in my car. This is a picture of me sitting in my car with my dog on Thanksgiving Day. We had a Big Bite from 7-Eleven. That was our Thanksgiving dinner. It was just so awful and depressing. And then some more time passed. I lived in my art studio for a while, and then I got a hold of a social worker, and I'm a veteran, so I got into this program for homeless veterans and was able to get a housing voucher so I could get out of homelessness, and finally moved into my new apartment. It took a long time to get used to. I used to just sit in a chair by the window and all day and just, you know, just couldn't really believe that I wasn't homeless anymore. It really took a long time to get used to the idea that I wasn't homeless anymore. But I ended up being homeless for a year that time. I had been homeless in the past, and I may talk about that another time. So about 6 years passed by. I had really wanted to go back to my church, and finally a short time ago I got back with them, and then the pandemic hit, and the pandemic was really hard on me because I was isolating in my apartment, which wasn't good for me, and so I ended up working on videos and stuff and trading that way and doing things to kind of get myself going again, and then I decided I had worked with the homeless over the years. I have a website, and I've had a website for many years called friendtothehomeless.org, and when I was much younger, I did a lot of outreach and care packages and even housing homeless people. And so just recently I decided to get back into outreach and started doing socks for the homeless. And here's a couple video clips of actually this past Sunday going out and giving socks to the homeless, so you can see. Socks? Would anyone like some socks? Sure. Ma'am, would you like some socks? Would you like some socks? Okay. All right, thank you. Hi. Would you like some socks?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. So, that's, I'm doing a lot better now, and giving out socks to homeless people really helps me to keep sane, and it helps homeless people too. It's really hard. Just to give you an idea, I hadn't, when I was homeless, I hadn't changed my socks in a long time, And one day I just took my socks off, and this is a picture of what my feet looked like when I took my socks off that day. So I really realized that, you know, being homeless, especially with socks. I mean, socks are just so hard to keep fresh. They, if you've never been homeless, you probably change your socks every day. So you couldn't probably imagine going, you know, 2-3 days or weeks or months without changing your socks. If you don't change your socks, if you don't have fresh socks to put your feet into, you're not as likely to look at your feet. And so, you know, that's what happened to me. I didn't have any fresh socks to put on, and, you know, I didn't have any place to shower or anything like that. So I didn't even know my feet were in that condition. So yeah. So I started, we're giving socks out. I started a fundraiser on GoFundMe, and people have been really generous with that. And also, the small ministry out of Memphis gave us 1,200 pairs of socks. And it's been going really good. So we have lots of socks, and I have a few volunteers, and one of them is Tanya, who's a good friend of mine, and she is helping me with the socks and helping me. She drives me around, goes out with me to give out socks, and she wants to do woman hygiene care packages. So she ordered a bunch of stuff, and we're doing that soon. The stuff came on Sunday, so she's going to start putting those care packages together. And so we're doing the outreach again. It's really good for me, and it helps the homeless, and it's really awesome. So if you're interested in supporting my endeavors, giving out socks and women's hygiene care packages to homeless men and women, you can make a donation to my GoFundMe. If you look in the video description down below the video, you will find a link to that. And follow me. If you could give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, and mash that bell icon so that you'll get notifications when I upload. You know, if you like this kind of content about helping homeless people and stories about homelessness and things like that, I would love to have you as a subscriber. So that's about it. That's one of my stories. I'll probably be sharing more about in the past when I was homeless. It's been a roller coaster of a life, and I'm really glad that I can reach out, and even though I've been through all this stuff, reach out and help my friends who are still on the street. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.